Another Brick Fan here with a look at a hidden side set. This is Newbury Abandoned Prison. This is set 70435, was released in August 2020 in the US, has 400 pieces, 4 minifigures, and cost about $40 when it was released. I really like how this set looks. I think it's a very good look for a prison. I like the olive green and gray color scheme, coupled with those burnt orange accents. In fact, the front prison door there I think looks great. It's really built up, has that big door handle or locking mechanism there, and then a whole bunch of stickers to give it some additional character. And as you can see, there are a lot of stickers adding texture all over the place on this set. It does come with 4 minifigures and then a couple of dog figures. So you get Spencer, who's the ghost dog that hangs out with Jack most of the time, and then there's also this little Chihuahua piece. We'll take a closer look at all the minifigures here in a few minutes, but let's take a look at the main build. Lots of great little details on this set in lots of different places. So let's go ahead and start with this side. You'll see we have a selector here for the set to interact with the application. So these colors will be asked for by the application. This look is very similar to the one that we saw with JB's Submarine, and I've also seen in some other hidden side sets. The stickers are different, of course, but the design of this little selector is very much the same as it was in some other sets. You can see there is some stickers here for texturing on the tower there, the sides of the prison doors here, and these prison doors actually slide. So we can slide those prison doors open and close, which I think is a really nice feature, and that's done on both sides. I think that's a really good use of these wider rail pieces. This is essentially a 2x8 piece with this big wide rail, one on the top, one on the bottom. Allows for one stud of width here and gives you the ability to slide these for sliding doors. It's fairly commonly used, but I think it's used very effectively here. If you look over here on the side, you see that there's a basketball court, and they use a little Technic ball piece here to represent the basketball, which is clever. There's a palm tree done over here, leaf pieces here that just clip on the top here, and then the trunk of the tree is just done in this nice reddish brown color, and it's at a slight angle here. Lots of other stickers for, this is an alarm here, a keep out sign, the cell number. As you can see, these lift up to show some eyes, so this does transform into a monster similar to some of the other buildings. These hands here are a little reminiscent of the Haunted High School, which has those great big claw pieces that come out of the sides of the buildings. So this makes for a fun little transformation of the actual set. So the building becomes a monster. Then all of it tucks back away and simply rotates. They did a nice job, if we move around to the back here, of putting this little stop here. So now it will only turn the right amount. So it only turns that 180 degrees. Inside, there's some little details. So inside here, there's a kind of a staff piece, it looks like, with a red, trans red piece on top here. There's a frog down in here. Looking in the middle, there's some little wanted posters on the sides. There's a little bottle piece here. You can see some teeth here. So if we opened up the door in that monster, when it was in the monster form, you would see the mouth here is actually where the door is. There's a little bathroom built here with a toilet, and then for some reason they have a lavender toilet paper roll. Then inside of this other cell, you see there's a bed. For me, the use of this triangular tile makes it look like the bed is like flown open, so you pulled the blanket back to get It's like you've pulled the blanket or the top cover back to get inside of the bed. So I think that was a clever little touch as well. You can also see a few of these 2x2s with just the 2 studs. These are typically places where you place minifigures to interact with the application. Here's another quick look at that basketball court. I think that sticker makes for a really good look there. And then the use of this rounded piece that I've seen used in the Marvel sets for kind of those circular bladed weapons that you saw in the Marvel universe. As I mentioned, the stickers on this front cell door are pretty good. This little T piece is used to represent kind of a lock, but there is no locking mechanism behind here. Now you see a really good look at that mouth, and like I said, when you open up these eyes here, you get that full monster effect with the door being the mouth of the cell blocker of the prison itself. Let's take a closer look at the minifigures. As I mentioned in the opening, this set comes with 4 minifigures as well as 2 dog pieces. The minifigures include Jack, Rami, Nate Lockham, and Douglas or El Fuego. The prison guard, Nate Lockham, is actually a human that gets haunted in this case. Let's take a quick look at the 2 little dogs that come with this set. First up, we have this little Chihuahua, which I think is a good-looking little figure. And of course, high on the cuteness scale. You can even see that he looks kind of nervous in this sitting position here. We also get Spencer the dog with this. Spencer is the little ghost dog that hangs out with Jack. And he is done in this kind of blended white to clear molding. And we get this Spencer dog in many of the Hidden Side sets. So focusing in on Jack and Rami, we see Jack has his mobile device, which he uses to fight ghosts. So there is that. And then here he's wearing his white hoodie with the red striping. And this newer piece that came out this year is a hood that is folded back or not on his head. So it makes for a better hoodie look. He's using the same legs that he always uses with the brown and silver printing and this little bone piece. It's kind of hanging out of one of his pockets. Rami here has this good nougat hairpiece with a spiky hair. I do like this hairpiece. I like the teal jacket that he's wearing. And then he has a purple shirt and these kind of sand blue legs with this good printing for the belt buckle done with some black, whites, and some silver, it looks like. Moving around the figures, you can see that hoodie piece comes down. So that's the hood of the hoodie there. And then this nice dual molded hat hair piece. The backs are fairly plain, although you see underneath the hood you have a continuation of those red stripes that are kind of like the stripes here on the hat for Jack. See, he does have a grumpy face here, and then Rami has this more scared face. He, of course, has the continuation printing of his teal sweater here in the back. Haven't seen Rami before in any of these Hidden Side sets, so he kind of feels like one that was just kind of randomly inserted into this. I would have been, to me, it probably would have made more sense if he was wearing like a Letterman jacket or something like that from Newbury High School to kind of fit him more into the theme, but having an extra minifigure is never really a bad thing. So here we have El Fuego and Nate Lockham. El Fuego is in his skeleton form here, so if you watch the cartoons at the end of the first wave, of Hidden Side, El Fuego was turned into a skeleton because he went over to the Hidden Side to help save some of the others. But he's back in this skeleton form with his bullseye helmet and red cape. Nate Lockham is our prison guard. He's wearing, it looks like kind of a jacket here with a fur-lined hood, it looks like. He's got a standard ball cap here. He's got an ID tag and then the keys to the prison here on his key ring. Perhaps he's a random police officer rather than a prison guard, considering this is an abandoned prison. But I'm not going to get too far into the story. He does have a standard city radio piece here. Kind of a graying stubble here and then the gray mustache for him. Moving around to the sides here, you see the security guard and then again that fur-lined hood that would go over his head. There's the here's the bullseye printing for El Fuego. He's very flexible here as a skeleton. As I mentioned, Nate Lockham becomes haunted, so let's take a look at his haunted form. And in this case, there's not a lot of change. We just switch out the headpiece, so he has this trans yellowish green headpiece there with the white ghost printing on it. You can still see his mustache there. This is a pretty normally seen headpiece. I've seen this piece before, but there's the back with some more of that kind of ghost flame look. Not quite as detailed as some of the other sets where they have a lot of other gloom type accessories that go with the gloomed characters, but still a nice way to show that he got haunted. Now that we've looked at all the minifigures, let's go back and I'll sum up my thoughts for the set. Overall, this is a really nice little scene. I also like the monster transformation for this building. This is more like the traditional Hidden Side sets, I would say, or at least the first few where there was one normal person that got haunted or was turned into a ghost. And in this case, it's our prison guard. In many of the other sets in this wave, they just had simply ghost figures and humans. So they didn't have a lot of them that transformed into ghosts in this wave. In fact, I believe this is the only set that actually does have a person that transforms into human that's haunted in this case. As far as value goes, this is right at that 10-cent per piece kind of initial analysis, which is good. It does have 4 minifigures and then a couple of those little dog pieces, so that adds a little bit of value in my mind. It is a pretty decent play set. Like I said, I like the sliding doors. I think the main prison door also looks very good. The fact that it transforms into this creature gives it some playability. That basketball court is a nice touch and certainly something you see in a prison. I think the look of it is convincing as a prison with all the bars and the stickers. Add a lot of detail to that to give it the proper look and feel of a prison yard. I think there's quite a bit of opportunity to use this for play features as it is. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this set. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to get more of my content. I've left a link to my Hidden Side playlist up here on the screen.